No moi, it is Joinen. And Shane Dawson's fan base, or more specifically, the Shane Dawson subreddit, hates Shane Dawson. Here's why. Okay, so Shane Dawson phases in and out of relevancy multiple times a year due to his infrequent posting of extremely viral series, as I'm sure you know. He spends a bit of time making a series. It seems his mental health declines, usually because of it. So he takes a big long break, then he decides he's ready to get back into it. He does some work for a little while and releases that, and these series get tens of millions of views per video, which is insane, by the way. And his loyal fan base is there to support him every step of the way. Or are they? I wanted to have a look for myself just how supportive the Shane Dawson fan base really is, because you get a bit of a vibe over on Twitter. But I came over to the Shane Dawson subreddit where all discussion is Shane Dawson related, just to see what's going on. Let's have a little peruse. I'm sure you may find the results quite interesting. So we'll start the story a little further back in the year. We're going the top post of the past year. My view on Shane after he quote tweeted me. My tweets. 1. You should definitely hire professional editors though, or edit in advance to prevent things like this happening. I understand this, but I also think you could have evaded it. Evaded it? Evade. Tweet 2. No hate at all. I love the series, and obviously it's awful that you've got a bladder infection. Wait, what? I just think that all of this editing makes you far too exhausted, and it's time you had a team to do it for you to produce faster / have more time for yourself. Shane's response. 1. Next time, I'm gonna just take more time and not care about the why aren't you posting and your lazy tweets. I probably won't be uploading for a few months after this series is over. I ended up receiving a large amount of hateful comments from fans and putting my Twitter onto private. My tweet wasn't rude, it was supposed to be constructive, and I only sent it because I was worried for his health with the amount of editing he pushes on himself. It could have been perceived negatively, but Shane is old enough to know that the effect of quoting a tweet online and saying he won't be uploading for a few months, almost as if I had personally caused that. He knew his millions of followers would attack me as soon as he replied that. My bio clearly stated I was 16, and therefore he also had the responsibility of thinking about how those kinds of comments could affect someone so young. And thankfully, I'm in a good enough headspace to not be bothered by many of the comments, unlike other fans potentially could have been. I believe Shane is being way too harsh on the people trying to give constructive criticism. He cannot improve if he doesn't accept that his work now does have flaws. I truly do not care about his upload schedule or whether things are delayed, but it is not good for his health to spend days with little sleep editing and then re-editing, and it's not realistic for a TV show if that's where he wants to go with this. So the top post on the Shane Dawson subreddit is, I suppose, constructive criticism for how Shane receives constructive criticism, but I don't even think this is actually constructive criticism. It's just an idea or a concern, really. Now, to be fair, I do not think Shane Dawson's response is actually that bad, but like the poster mentioned, I guess if you're Shane, you do have to predict that someone is going to take backing you up a little bit too seriously. He could have just as easily posted a screenshot and scribbled out the user's name instead, but I'm not really here to critique Shane. That's actually not the point of this video. The point is to showcase how many people are critiquing Shane. Shane, constructive criticism. Is this a hate comment? Yeah, it seems like all the people with constructive criticism are here on Reddit, while everybody on Twitter just wants to kiss his donkey. And this is the heart of what I'm getting at. I mean, look at this comment. He needs to get a content cop. I mean, what is the history of who has received a content cop? We've got Fine Bros, we've got Keemstar, Leafy, Tana Mojo, Jake Paul, although that one's actually Rice Gum. And the Shane Dawson subreddit reckons that he belongs in that list of people. WTF is wrong with Shane, with 744 points of that Reddit karma. After long years of being a fan, I hit the edge, and I don't think I can support Shane as a person, not as an influencer, not as a YouTuber, as a person. The series, the Jake Paul series, was pointless, aimless, and generally didn't make sense. Different subjects were teased and none of them was actually fully uncovered. But what's wrong with Shane? Is it Jake's influence? Shane became extremely toxic during this series. I almost think that Shane is just as bad as Jake and tries to cover it up by painting Jake to be this great misunderstood guy. In my opinion, Shane came across not only unprofessional, but sexist in this series. Jake and Alyssa were never officially dating, they both admitted to that, but he didn't grill on Jake cheating many times, didn't show sympathy, and doubted Alyssa, while he almost cried when Alyssa cheated on Jake. This is such a double standard and so shitty. I understand that it was his brother, but it's not really her fault. It's not her brother. Okay, moving on. Shane did not address abuse, brushed it off when Alyssa was telling him about the abuse, and kind of blamed her for it or said she exaggerated it. He did not address Jake physically abusing Tessa, caught on camera, not in a prank. It was obviously real, even though it was on video. He did not address the accusations by Alyssa and Martinez for stealing money from them. Shane did not address Jake's abuse of power in girls to see if they're a good fit for Team 10. Shane did not address how Chance proved Jake lied, accusing him of stealing the channel. Look at Shane's behavior. He can't take criticism, which seems to be the #1 criticism. He can't stand that people hate on Jake and think he should have been harder. He's telling fans to f off and deleting those tweets. Shane is taking the victim card, saying the content is free and that stays up all night editing. Honestly, I don't give a f. It's his job. It's not like we're not paying him with our time watching his stupid ads. It's not like he lives in a mansion of a house and earns thousands of dollars every month. I get it. Editing is hard, but he chooses to do it, not like we ask him to work so hard. In general, Shane is poor at managing his time and it's completely his fault, not the fans. I think Shane lost touch and has too much power and is too popular. I kind of hope for content cop on him. He's being such a hypocrite, or as we like to call it on this channel, a hypocrite. He should keep filming himself having fun with friends and drop this journalist wannabe sh. It's for people with a spine, not for people like him. The only thing I got off this series is that the donkey hole rich white boys are donkey hole rich white boys, and while they make mistakes and have feelings, they will remain untouched because they are taken more seriously than the victims of their abuse. And this was 91% upvoted. And this person with 274 points completely agrees. The next top comment agrees. The next person agrees. I think everybody in the comment section agrees. It seems to be fairly unanimous that everyone on this subreddit kind of dislikes Shane. Now, granted, a lot of this stuff has been about the Jake Paul series, and that is not even the beginning of it. But that's not to say that he's not receiving criticism at this very moment. Not a hate post. Just feel weird. I love Shane so much, and I've followed him through everything he's done. I've watched his videos since I was 10. I've watched almost every single one except his new documentary with Jeffrey. I started to feel odd when he did that series with Tanner. I felt weird when he did his first series with Jeffrey too. I also thought about how close he and Trisha were. You can like any or all of these people, but you can't deny they've done some really things. They're definitely high up on a list of problematic YouTubers. Like I said in the title, I'm not here to hate on Shane. Matter of fact, I'll probably watch the next series he puts out if it's good. I just can't support Jeffrey. I'm wondering if anyone else feels like this. It just makes me so sad to see who he is aligning himself with. I feel the same way. And then an hour ago, there was this post. Before his new series came out, almost everyone on this sub was talking shit about him. I think it's pretty f***ed up. I absolutely agree. For months, this sub was 90% complaints and criticisms. People would be downvoted to hell just for having anything good to say. I actually unsubscribed a while ago because it was just straight being depressing being on this sub. There are people on here posting often that very clearly were not and probably had never even been fans of Shane. It was off-putting. So what is the point of showcasing all of this? That's a good question. This is not unique, exclusive to Shane. From what I've seen, this also happens on the H3H3 subreddit, though maybe not to quite the same extent, and it absolutely happens on the Casey Neistat subreddit. There are so many posts that are all just heavy criticisms of Shane. So why? I think one of the most obvious answers is just that it's a public forum about a certain topic, and the topic just happens to be a YouTuber. So much like if you look up reviews of a restaurant or a store, or especially, try this one sometime, a courier service, you will mostly find negative reviews. That's because when people find the experience great or mediocre, they just move on with their lives. But when they're really upset about something, they want to vent and they want to discuss it. So they come over to the subreddit, and I think in a lot of cases, it's an inaccurate skewing of people's perception of a given topic. Sure, there may be 1,000 people on this subreddit who agree that Shane Dawson is trash, but his videos get tens of millions of views. So there are far more people who, at the very least, don't think he's trash. Now, I do think Shane is an interesting case because he absolutely does actually receive a lot of criticism or hate or whatever else, and he seems to engage with it a little bit too much. I remember specifically around the Jake Paul series era, it seemed like he just couldn't keep off Twitter, reading everyone's opinions and responding to the negative ones, which I don't think is a great thing to do for just mental health or confidence in your content. But why don't we find this happening on, for example, PewDiePie's subreddit? And I think the simple answer is that PewDiePie's subreddit has a purpose other than for people to vent about PewDiePie. Sure, there may be some, but I think the fact that PewDiePie looks at these posts in videos, it kind of becomes more of a means of aggregating content for his video rather than a public forum to discuss him. So it just exists for a completely different purpose. I think the more dead a subreddit is for a given YouTuber, the more negative topics are going to be hanging around there. So with that being said, I suppose I might as well announce there is a Joinen subreddit. It's existed for a little while. I've just never said so. It's just r/Joinen. You can find it in the description. So if you guys want to go complain about me, go ahead and do that. I don't necessarily know what the plan is for that page yet, but if you guys want to just post things there, it may end up in a video. So there's always that. So anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I understand it was a comparatively low energy video, but hey, I've got plenty of other content around on this channel and coming out soon. So ring the bell or don't if you don't want notifications, because that's exactly what that bell does. Get your wholesome merch in the description below, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching my video, but now that it's done, please watch another one.